English with Deck. Hi guys, it's Deck from Deck English and nice to have you here today. I hope you are all doing well. You know, it's another one of those days. The wind is blowing, the sun is shining. It's not so bad. I've just eaten a lovely lunch of ramen and what did I have? Ramen and some fried rice made at home today. Actually, not by yours truly, moi. No. My mother-in-law is with us today, so she was kind enough to make my lunch for me, and it was delicious, scrumptious, amazing, fabulous. Just throw some words out there for you. Take your pick. Um, and for dessert, of course, I had a cup of tea accompanied by a pretty good chocolate cookie. You know, it was, it was, it was okay. I've had better, but I've also had worse. There was a good texture to it. It was not overly hard, and it was also not overly dry. So, I'll take it as a win. But overall, a very, very satisfying lunch. And what I wanted to share with you guys today is, well, that, one second, there we go. When you go for a lunch in England, now, as anywhere in the world, you have options. You have so many options. Options. And, some of these options are healthy, and some of them are, well, questionable when it comes to the health factor. But nothing, of course, if you want cheap food in a rush, I'm not talking about fast food like McDonald's or KFC. I'm talking about a good old-fashioned meal deal. Now, a meal deal can usually be found in a supermarket or a petrol station, otherwise known as a gasoline stand for some of you out there, a petrol station, or even to some degrees in a post office occasionally, but primarily in a supermarket or similar, or pharmacy as well. The pharmacy might sell them quite often. And a meal deal is typically, well, I typed this into Google just to verify my memory because it's a long time since I've been there. And yep, I was correct. A meal deal, a meal deal, a meal deal generally consists of a drink, a snack, and a main. Now, that's a three part meal there, and your drink, well, that could be a water, a juice, a pop, otherwise known as a soda, a pop, and one second, my phone. Okay, we're good. Sorry, my phone rang. My daughter's study club teacher called, and apparently the study club is on, but we thought it was off today. The day off. But obviously a case of classic miscommunication. So I just had to clear that up there. So sorry about that. Anyway, yes, the meal deal in the UK will generally consist of 3 items: a drink, followed by a sandwich or a pasta or similar, and then a snack. Well, that could be some fruit or some crisps, otherwise known as potato chips. I'll have a bag of potato chips. No, they're crisps. Crisps. Um, And that would be a classic meal deal from the supermarket or similar. Okay. Now, of course, if you go out for a lunch, or maybe you eat in a school or work canteen, it will be very different. And you've got, these days, you have a big variation, really big variation. You might have a classic roast dinner, some meat, some veggies, and a bit of gravy. You might have a salad, maybe a chicken salad or similar, or some fish occasionally, or wraps, falafel, or a good old sandwich. There are so many possibilities these days, and it is becoming ever more and more healthy. So, and you have a lot of options available when it comes to lunch in England. Now, one thing which does come across to a lot of people is that the food in England is quite heavy and it's quite big in portion sizes, and usually a lot of carbs, which is true. Now, let's quickly compare that to a Japanese basic meal deal. If I go to the convenience store, maybe I can grab a bento box, or of course sandwiches and all that stuff as well, pasta as well. But generally speaking, now at the end of the day, which is actually more unhealthy is, well, it's up for debate, and there are obviously figures out there, but I haven't looked into them specifically. And it really does depend what you get. But I do feel that a convenience store bento, a convenience store lunchbox, has more tendency to be less full of carbs, but more oily. Okay, so I think, it's you win some, you lose some on either side there. However, if we go to the classic Japanese lunchbox, then that's getting healthy. That's getting really healthy. You've got lots of veg, smaller portions, and very fresh. Very, very fresh. Okay. And of course, on top of that, you've got the classic rice dishes. And again, in this day and age, you do have a lot of options available for maybe non-Japanese cuisine available, or even modernized versions of the classic Japanese cuisine. Now, at the end of the day, which one do I prefer? Well, that is a brilliant question, and actually not so easy to answer. You know, at the end of the day, or I would say getting lunch out in Japan is a lot cheaper overall. For value for money, I'd say you get a lot more for your money. I will, however, though, say that the breakfast options in Japan are lacking, simply because there is not such a active breakfast culture outside of the major city areas. Whereas in England, or well, the UK as a whole, and actually Europe as well, in fact, a lot of the world, let's just say it like that, a lot of the world, breakfast culture is massive. So even in the countryside, it's very easy to find an early morning cafe, an early morning sandwich shop, or similar. Whereas in Japan, that can be tricky. And for someone like myself, I'm an early riser. I love breakfast. Not that I always eat it, but if I'm eating out, I love eating breakfast out. It feels quite fun, special. And that is something I do miss, actually. So overall, it's a pretty even playing field. But I think simply because on the whole, if you're eating Japanese food, it is a bit healthier, generally speaking, than a lot of the UK options available. Japanese food does come out slightly on top when it comes for lunches and the availability. So I hope that helps if any of you are dilly and dallying. Maybe can't decide which lunch to get today. You know, maybe you'll go for the sandwich meal deal, the bento box, maybe some pasta or pizza. Whatever it is, make sure to try something new. And also remember to keep your health in mind. And to follow on from that, whilst we're thinking of our body's health, don't forget to keep your brain active. And one way of keeping your brain active is by continuously using it. And one way we can continuously use it is by studying English. Well, that's what you're doing, right? Well, keep up the good work. And remember to listen to some more of the episodes in this series and other series out there as well. Remember to watch videos on YouTube, watch dramas, watch movies. Of course, feel free to check out Deck English, the YouTube channel as well. And if you're feeling really adventurous, feel free to send me a message or even check out my teaching page. And hey, maybe you will be enticed to take a lesson tomorrow. Not today, tomorrow. Okay, well, look, guys, it's always fabulous to have you here. And thank you, as always, for spending the time to listen to my voice. And I hope that you can pick up some brilliant nuances, some fantastic vocabulary words, and not get too tired of this voice. No, okay. So, okay, guys, let's leave it there and enjoy your evening, enjoy your night, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.